All right, we have sliced up our Brussels. We washed them, took the ends off, and sliced them in half. And then I took a portion of an onion and sliced it in thin strips. So we're going to cook those in here as well. Preheated an iron skillet, and we're just going to chop up a little bit of bacon to help flavor these Brussels. I'm just going to cut some off the end and throw it in my skillet to brown. That should be enough to make it delish. So this will be the oil too that we use for cooking. So we're going to let this get nice and crunchy. Okay, for those of y'all who've been watching me for a while, probably thinking, why is she using bacon? There are some things I really love bacon in, okay? One is broccoli salad, and I'm making this recipe to kind of mimic broccoli salad, except it's just going to be a little different. And I love them in that. I also love bacon in, well, of course, my breakfast. And I love bacon and baked beans. So you're not going to see me use it a lot. But when I do use it, it's because there's certain things that I like it in. A lot of people like it in everything. But, and if you like it in everything, of course, use it. Now this is good and warm. It's nice and crunchy enough. I'm going to go ahead and add my veggies to it. They got a little water on them. Pop it. Now we're going to let these simmer just a minute, and then I'm going to add a little bit of liquid to kind of steam them just a little bit, and then we'll let it cook off, okay? But first, I'm just going to let them sit here and kind of sizzle first. All right, we're going to put in a half tablespoon of sugar and a half tablespoon of vinegar into a cup of warm water. Stir it up. And we're going to pour this over our Brussels. And it's still got a little bit at the bottom, so I'm going to rinse it out and get it in there. A little sugar. You can swirl it a little bit, I guess. So now we're just going to let these cook all the way down, just like this. And it'll steam the Brussels, and then it'll reduce, and then the sugar will be left in the bottom with the bacon grease and the onion. And we're going to wait till it sizzles, and then we're going to serve it up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn these one time. Good. And we've got to let all of that liquid boil out of there and let it start sizzling before we serve these up. Now we're going to let this sit in there and sizzle for a little while. You can tell most of all that water has pulled off of it. See the bottom of the skillet? But I want it to kind of sit there and sizzle with the bacon for a minute and see if we can't get the bacon a little bit more crunchy before we serve it up. Now our bacon, put salt in here already, so if you're low sodium, don't add extra, but we're going to just put a little bit of salt in this. And I'm also going to add a little pepper to it, black pepper. And if you're a man or y'all like hot stuff, you can always add red pepper flakes. Those are pretty too. I got a couple of tablespoons of oil in there, olive oil. And we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of butter in here. This is a very simple recipe and it's very good every time. This is my daughter's favorite way for me to make Brussels sprouts. So I just take the Brussels and I half them. You can preheat your skillet while you're getting them ready. And I also cut the ends off, the dark part. So I do that first with a paring knife. And if for some reason you got some really big ones, you can actually cut them into 3 pieces if you want to, like that. Now this is 1 pound of Brussels sprouts. And I personally like to get mine in the container that says it's ready to steam, and that way they're good and clean. But now if you want to buy them the other way, you can. They're about the same price. Either way, they're not real cheap, Brussels. They're not real cheap, but they're good for you. All right, so our skillet's heating up. That's a 10-inch skillet, and you can see a pan should about cover the bottom of it. Now we're going to salt and pepper them. And you want to be careful and not get them too brown, because Brussels sprouts are actually bitter when you get them too brown. That's why I'm not a big fan of roasted ones. Now, I know a lot of y'all like them, but you got to be real careful and not, if you roast them, not get them too brown, and it's hard to do. So we're going to cook these on a medium-low heat. So we're going to cook these about 5 minutes, and then we're going to cover them and cook them 5 more minutes. So they're going to cook about 10 minutes because you want it to be done, okay? And you don't want them turned up too high, or they will get too brown. That's all there is to it. So we'll see you in a second when I stir them and put a lid on them. All right, we're going to turn these a little. This is what you want. You want them to get a light brown. You just don't want them to get dark brown. And if you got plenty of time, you can stand here and flip every one of them so that every one of them is just perfect. Then they're really going to think you're a good cook. If you're like me and you're caught up, you have time to do that. But now after you turn them, you're going to put a lid on them and cook them 5 more minutes. Get them all perfect. Put your lid back on them. Or put a lid on them. And we're going to give them, I guess that skillet's a little bit bigger than 10 inches. It must be 11 inches. Anyway, we're going to put that on there, and that way that steam will get up in those Brussels, and especially if you flip them upside down like that, they're going to be really good. And so we'll see you in about 5 minutes. Okay, they should be ready. We're going to pour them right in this bowl to serve out of. That's how you want your Brussels to look, just a nice golden color, not too brown. And really all that is olive oil and butter, so we'll pour it on. Now we're going to sprinkle them with some parm and serve them. They should be soft. See how that just went right in there? It's a good cook time, okay? Just make sure you put it on low. It should cook on low if you're going to cook it that long. so good. You absolutely can't beat that recipe. All right, y'all, we've washed some Brussels sprouts. I'll trim them up a little bit. If they're really big, I like to cut them in half so they get good and done. All right, we're going to put some water in a pot, put it in a steamer basket. I got too much water because it's coming over the basket, so I got to go pour some out till it gets to the... All right, now it's about level, so you can see the water, but it's about level with the basket. That's the way I want it. We're going to put these in here. First, I'm going to salt and pepper them before I put them in. Let me rinse my hands off and salt and pepper these. We're going to salt them. You really been kidding me. And pepper them. Now we're going to add a little Mrs. Dash to the top of them, just to give them some seasoned flavor. And now we're going to put them in a basket. The reason I go ahead and season them is because the seasoning will stay on there when you're just steaming them like this, and they'll just be good. Now we're going to bring this to a boil and bring them to a steam. And we'll probably steam them about 10 to 12 minutes on high. All right, here's our Brussels. I'm going to drain them in the sink, and I'll be right back. Okay, I drained them. I'm going to put a little butter in them. Couple of tablespoons, and they'll be ready to eat. These are Brussels that I have prepped already. Cut the ends off and halved them. Now we're going to take my pull chopper, and I am going to take some almonds, and I'll use about that much. Lord mercy.
Missed your hand, didn't you?
Yes. Just use about, I guess, about a quarter cup. And you just chop them. I don't want to get them so little that, well, I'll chop them just a little bit more. Well, I already took that out. How y'all like being live? This crazy old woman. All right, wait a minute.
Yeah, they got to be little enough to stick to the Brussels, don't they?
Yeah.
When they air fry them.
Yeah.
All right, Tammy's going to start her lawnmower.
I can start this. I sure can't pull a lawnmower cord. I can tell you that right now. All right, so let's throw them in there. Almonds.
Okay.
Already looks good, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sesame seeds. I guess I could have tossed them in oil first. Let's do the oil next. Oil. This is olive oil. You know what? I'm just gonna throw it all in there, and then we're gonna toss it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do salt and pepper last.
Okay. So that's sesame seeds.
This is toasted sesames. Yeah, you did get the toasted ones. Now, toasted sesame seed. I've got some parm, and I don't have any of the fresh kind. So this is what we have, and that's what we're using. And you're just, you know, putting it on there. You don't have to have a specific amount. The only thing I haven't done is I'm going to add some shallots. Now, you can use dehydrated onion or onion powder if you don't have these. These are from Penzeys, and they're just called air-dried shallots, and they're just really good. And they have a really strong flavor, and they're just good. Okay, so I'm going to throw those on there, and it's really nice to have shallots like this. I will say this, I don't represent Penzeys or anything like that. I use all the spices, no matter who they are, if I like them. But I was going to tell you, it's nice to have dried shallots because I can never keep them fresh. You know, they go bad before I use them, but it's nice to have them dried, then you can just pull them out whenever you want to use them. And I think that's it besides salt and pepper, so we're just going to toss this. in it, I'll use some wood. If I use my metal on metal, it drives some people crazy when they watch the show. So we're just going to toss all of this together. So there's almonds. Let's put a little more olive oil. You got to have a lot of olive oil for it to stick to it, okay? All this good stuff. So you've got the almonds, you've got the cheese, you've got the sesames, and those are actually roasted almonds, whole almonds that we just chopped. We're going to get these Brussels in here. Look how easy this was. Now, if for some reason you're a bacon lover and you got some bacon bits that you've got, you know, you had some extra bacon and you got some, we actually have some in the refrigerator. But I'm not going to get them out because me and Chris are not that crazy about bacon all over everything. But you could always add it in there if that's what you like. But to me, this is going to be a lot of flavor. They asked, a lot of people will use a seasoning that has everything in it, kind of like everything bagel. But I'm going to be honest with you, some of the onions in the everything bagel, they just don't taste that good. So I would prefer you use other spices. I've used the everything bagel spice once. It's cool what brand you buy to how good it is. All right. So we're going to put this in there. And we're going to put the temperature on 360.
370.
Oh, 370 for 8 to 10 minutes. So we're going to just check it in 8 minutes. All right?
They're down to the last 2 minutes. Ooh, you have not paid attention.
They sure ain't done.
No.
I'll tell you that.
Take them up, girl.
And I think they need more oil on them.
We can spray them.
No. Boy, they smell good, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Delish.
See, I think they should be up a little higher because I like them brown.
Yeah.
Can I turn them up?
Yeah, good cook.
All right, so I put that on 370 for how many minutes to start with?
8, so it cooked 6.
8. So now I'm going to put it on 400 for 6 minutes. I won't cook it the whole 6 minutes, though.
Okay.
All right, so these Brussels only have a couple of more minutes and then we can eat. I can heat this stuff up real quick.
Okay. Let's see what they look like now. Ooh, yeah, now they're
Now that's more like
toasting
it.
up.
Yeah, I don't like them to be too brown, so just put them on the higher setting long enough to get them nice and toasty. But you don't want to get them too brown or they'll taste burnt. And I'm going to squeeze some lemon on them.
Good stuff.
We're going to get them on the plate. Talk to me.
That's your timer.
My husband's always setting the timers. Okay.
So you think they should cook it on 400 the whole time, or do you think they should do like
Oh no.
380
or? They
or
on the middle.
Oh, so kind of do it
I
like
would
we
do
did
it
it.
half and half, just
Yeah.
like we do our bacon.
Yeah.
And that way you're getting the best of both worlds. You want them down low enough to cook on the inside. We're having a lot, y'all, because this is our lunch. And we're not eating, you know, more sides. So we're going to be hogs with the Brussels, which is good for you. So let's get the almonds in here. There you go. Simple lunch, quick, fast, and easy. Chris has got lots of almonds on his. Mine does too. All right, let's get us a bite. And let's try Brussels.
Those nuts are good.
Yeah. I think we should put a little parm on them.
A little more.
Yeah, now that they're on the plate, because it's hot. They're nice and hot. Mm-hmm. And you know, if you don't have parm and you got feta, you can use feta. They're really, really good. If you like Brussels sprouts and you got an air fryer, I would use it. They're perfectly cooked. You want them soft, enough that you can chew it. Oh, they're really good. And you want them toasty on the outside. These are packed with flavor. Got more than one texture. It's just a really good lunch, and we're going to let you go so Chris can eat it. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we thank you so much for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we learned to use an air fryer that our mama didn't have.